Hello, everyone who's joining me live for the big income reveal. I'm not super hopeful this month because I was on vacation for 2 weeks, so I don't know how I'm gonna have earned a lot of money, but you can always hope. For those of you who are watching this on replay, welcome. Hope you're looking forward to the big reveal as much as I am about to right now. And for anyone who's wondering, usually the format of this is I'll do my live reveal where I'll show you on Medium how much I've earned for the month of October in this case. And then I'll go ahead and do some questions and answers for anybody who wants to know anything about what stories earn me the most money, what I like to write about, like literally anything you've got questions about. It's just a fun little hangout time. All right, I am booting up medium.com as we speak and getting ready to share my screen. All right, share screen, looking for my tab. Here we go. All right, share. So I just would love to get some confirmation. Anybody just holler out in the comments that you can see my screen. I'll wait for a minute or two. I know there's a bit of a lag between between the comments and the video. It's a good time to take a sip of my tea. All right, Brianna has confirmed. All right, I will hop in and see. So the big reveal. That's why you all are all here. So nervous. I told myself I was hoping for at least 2,000. If I get 2,000, I'll be over the moon. What? I'm floored. That's the most I've ever earned. Can everyone see this? Can everyone see what I'm looking at? $4,000? What the? I don't really know what to say. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that. Wow. Okay, because for reference, $4,000. Okay, I'm definitely gonna buy myself a better YouTube camera. I deserve it. You all deserve it. I only wrote my stats weren't that good. I've had much better months in terms of stats. And only wrote, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I only wrote 9 stories this month. And this one I published like 2 days ago and it's got a couple hundred views. What? I'm honestly still reeling from that. Whew, all right. Well, best month ever on Medium. You all are here to witness my triumph. I will take questions now. Yeah, anybody with any questions, please hop in the chat and celebrate with me. I'm interested to see, normally when I have a really good month, it's like I've got one absolutely knockout story that usually gets me nearly half of my income. But I'm interested to see, I had a lot of very, very high earning stories. So this was the biggest one. This was published in August, June, September. Okay, so, oh, this one did quite well. This one was published in October, September. This one was published way back in September, August. That is a good month, y'all. Woo. All right. All right. I'll stop marveling and start being useful and answering some questions. Brianna wants to know how I get the black dots on the stats when I get published. Yeah, this is I have a Chrome extension called Media Stats. I will post it in the link. I'll post the link in the description of this video. It's super useful. It gives you a ton of different useful statistics. So, I mean, it shows you when you published and how often you published, which is really, really useful when you're just trying to sort of get a bird's eye view. But you also see how many claps you had. You get what else do you get to see? You get the screenshot of lifetime views. This is how I know how many stories I've written, 522 versus 400 responses. And I've reached over 1.5 million people, which is pretty amazing. Yeah, great question, Brianna. Can't recommend this enough. Do I continue to write any topics, or I decided to stick with some? Great question, Ala. I I do have a sort of content plan that I normally try to stick with. I normally go for one listicle, one current event article, and one for fun article every week. Normally, one of those has a chance of doing pretty well. So it's just a matter of sort of evening my odds and doing everything I can to try to make it as likely as possible that I'll go viral. So the current event just depends what I see on Twitter that I'm interested by. That's normally a more evergreen one, and the one that I do for fun just depends what mood I'm in. I wrote my Emily in Paris one as my for fun one last week. Zaki wants to know, does this mean that less is more on Medium? Sometimes fewer articles can be better. Zaki, this is a hard one for me to answer because the answer is unfortunately at the same time. I am now at the point where less, it means my writing is better. So if I tried to write an article every day, they would all probably do about as well as this one, which is like fine, but not well at all. When I slow down, I typically see that my stories do perform better. However, I would have never gotten to that point if I hadn't written like a stupid number of articles. I think I wrote well over 300 the first year I wrote on Medium, so like nearly a story every day. And that experience gave me the writing ability that I can now write less and still earn apparently over $4,000. I'm still reeling from that. LA wants to know, do I believe that stuff I write about 100%? I do 100%. Like my mind changes. I write stuff, like I wrote something a couple of years ago that I now don't agree with 100%. Like why you should refuse to apologize or something like that. So like, I agree with everything I write as I write it, but then my mind can obviously change later on, and I'm human. I don't know if that answers your question, LA artist. Please feel free to ask for clarification in the comments. Anna wants to know, hi, I never seem to check my notifications. How do I find out if I got a reply about a submission to a publication? Yeah, I stopped checking my notifications maybe like a year ago because I found it was stressing me out. I was like constantly refreshing them to see if I'd been curated, if I'd gotten 10 fans, et cetera, et cetera. So I stopped. Now, when I want to know if I got a reply to a submission, I will, because I never have more than one or two on the go. So for example, if you were here with me as I wrote this live on Friday, you'll know that I submitted this story to Better Marketing. So it's fairly easy to keep an eye on this. And normally when I submit something, the editor will leave a comment. So I'll see like a private note. See what that looks like. Test. I'll see like a little star here that says, oh, hey, we love this, but we're not going to accept it because XYZ reasons. So that's how I keep track. Ever written for Better Humans? No, it's been one of my goals because it's such a standout publication, but I haven't yet. If anybody has, congratulations. They're a very, very cool publication, and they publish a lot of good writing. Dina wants to know if claps earn money on Medium. So claps used to be the metric by which you knew how much money you'd earned that month. Stories with more fans earned money than stories with fewer fans. Maybe like a year ago, Medium changed to make it read time rather than claps. So claps now are good for two things. One, it's a vanity metric. I'll be honest, I love going on my stories and seeing like, oh, this one got 1,000 claps. I love that feeling. Two, clapping tells Medium that somebody likes the story. And I don't know for sure, but I suspect it's easier for them for the algorithm to pick those stories up and go further with them. So some of my most popular stories have a very high clap to read ratio. So read some claps for them and so on. Let's see. Another question from Ola. What is your favorite publication? It varies. I like a lot of publications a lot. All right, I'll cop out a little bit and give two of my favorites. I love Storius Mag. The reason, I'll show y'all actually. Let's see if we can find it. Storius Medium. I've only published in there a couple of times, but the reason I think they're so good is because the content they write is very, very specific to what their publication is about. They don't accept everything. They only take what's very, very specific about storytelling. And I think that publications with such a strong editorial focus do really well, and the people who publish in there reap the rewards. Secondly, Storius, yes, Instagram isn't limited to they don't Medium. They also have a pretty wide Instagram following. Oh, that's not the person I'm trying to find. I think it's Storius Mag, maybe. So they are not just thinking about Medium, they're already planning how to extend their following. They're trying to work out what they can do to be doing better, getting off and onto other platforms, which I think is a very smart thing to be doing. My other favorite is called Creatures, which is founded by so American. I think her name is Darby Day. It's either Darby or Darcy. I'm 99% sure it's Darby. There she is. She emailed me a while back. She's like, hey, I noticed there wasn't a publication for anything to do with animals on Medium, so I created my own. And it's done really well. That's another one with a super strong narrative focus. She knows what she's writing about, and all the stories in there. I mean, some of them do really, really well, so just goes to show. And back to my stats page in case anyone's got questions on that. Sorry, long answer for an easy question. If anybody else has favorite publications, please feel free to pop them in the chat. Candy wanted to know, what is the cheapest way to have me review a story and give feedback? Cheapest? Candy, I'm a little hurt that you're looking for the cheapest way to do this. I don't really know. I guess like the cheapest way is not to get me to do it, because honestly, I'm so busy right now that I don't have the time to give the story the energy it would deserve from me to edit and review it. The cheapest way, full stop, to get it done is to read it out loud to yourself. That's the cheapest way to review a story. Or I think you can install Grammarly. They would review it. Well, they do the sort of grammar check. And getting a peer, like a friend, a family member, to read it over and give you their feedback is also very good. So hopefully that answers your question. I have already answered one from Giotti. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I get rejected all the time on Medium. I got rejected the other day trying to publish something to Better Marketing, and the editor, Brittany, emailed me and she was like, hey, it's a good story, but it's not a good fit for Better Marketing, so we're going to reject this. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. And oh, actually, I've got an example of one. Let's see. This one, I wanted to get into Mind Cafe, and Adrian, the editor of Mind Cafe, was like, we like this, but it's just too short. It's only a 3-minute read. So you can either extend it, like lengthen it out a bit, or publish it somewhere else. And I was like, all right, fair enough. I don't really think there's anything else to say about this, so I'll just publish it under my own publication. And as you can see, it did pretty well. So I was happy with that. I mean, it's always possible it could have done better in Mind Cafe, but Leslie wanted to know, what is the deal with the audio medium? Can you record your own, etc.? So yes, there are 2 ways to do this that I have done myself. First of all, you can install the play.ht extension on Chrome. I think that's what it's called. Find it. Play.ht. I think that's what it is. Yeah, so you can get this on Chrome for free, and it hooks up to your Medium, and it does this like robot voice. It narrates all your articles. Secondly, this is the other thing I used to do. You can just make your own SoundCloud. You record it, upload it to SoundCloud, and then embed the SoundCloud link in your Medium story. I used to do that, but then it started feeling a little too intimate. I was like, I don't know if I want everyone listening to my stories as they read them. I don't know. I stopped for a number of reasons. So those are the 2 ways to do audio on Medium that I know of. Rebel Coder, do you have any advice for technical content writers? They don't seem to earn at all. Do I know of any who earn okay? Yes, I do. I'm trying to think of a few that come to mind. To be honest, Medium started off as almost the place for technical writing. I had always assumed that because I wasn't a technical writer, I was going to struggle to earn money. The main issue here is that people who are technical writers don't often post about their earnings. I want to say Jun Woo, she's a technical writer. She mixes technical with other stuff, like she does poetry as well. But I think she must have been busy lately because she's mostly posting poetry. She was a technical writer. I can't think of any right now, I'm afraid. So I will keep thinking and get back to you when I can, Rebel Coder. I accidentally closed the tab. Sassy and awesome. Is it possible to make every article you post free to read for everyone? Yes, it is, and I will show you how to do it right now. So if we go into new story, free for everyone, exclamation point. Here's my story. And then I hit publish. Meter my story so it is eligible to earn money. This means it's behind the paywall. So Medium members have unlimited access. Free members only get to read 1 or 2 of these a month. You can just untick it. And then if you do that to every story you publish, they're all free to read. The downside is then you don't earn any money, but yeah, that's how you do that. Oh, nobody can see what I'm doing. Sorry, 1 second. I'll show you how to do that again. Yes, so you just untick the meter my story so it's eligible to earn money. Sorry about that. Ola asks if I've seen any changes with particular follower milestones. Yes, when I hit 10,000, that's when I started going viral. So my very first viral story, I will show you. I published it in May. This was right around when I hit 10,000. It is to date my most viral story that's earned me the most money. Let's see. Come on. I've written too many stories. This is why. This one, I wrote it in May. And that was the first time I ever saw numbers anything like this. That was an incredible moment for me. And that happened when I hit 10,000. And after that, that's when I started getting, I mean, this is my top earned story. But after that first story, after I hit 10,000 followers, that's when I started seeing the potential to get 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 views on a story in a couple of days. And that's when my income took a real increase all of a sudden. Like, I mean, this month you saw I published 9 stories and I earned $4,000. I'm still so excited about that. I feel like I've made it into the big leagues. I never thought, okay, I'm going to stop talking about it. I'm just so excited. Candy apologizes. No worries. I was only teasing. I know. Yeah, don't worry about it. Another Candy, I think, wants to know, how do I do freelancing work? I don't use a platform like Fiverr or Upwork. I do have my own freelance website, but the way I get most of my clients comes through 2 ways. First of all, networking. My biggest paying client to date came to me through someone that I knew, and they reached out to him originally and they were like, hey, we would love for you to do this stuff. And he was like, I can't do this, but I know who can, and directed them to me. That was it. And I've been working with them and they work for them. And the second way is I write these self-promotional articles, I'll say. So like, for example, this one, as an instance, I mentioned, this doesn't look like self-promo, but if you read it, I talk about the fact that I do freelance work. I talk about the kinds of freelance work I do. And a couple of my clients read this and they were like, oh, she does freelance work. Oh, she does writing. And then they with me through my writing website, which is zulywrites.com, through the contact form there. And that's how I got them. It took me about 1.5 years to get to 10,000 followers. That was with ups and downs. Like the first 5,000 came quite quickly, then like 5 to 8 was very slow, and then 8 to 10 was quite quick again. So I think if I'd written consistently, it would have been faster, but I didn't write consistently, so it took some time. Zohal asks, I get this question a lot, and I believe there is a way to do it. I've never done this myself. Speak on this with any authority. I believe if you go, you can, I'm not going to get this right. I think you can create a bank account with TransferWise or maybe Payoneer that says it's like, it basically lets you create a virtual bank account in the country like the United States that is supported by Stripe. I don't know for sure. Other people will know more about this than I do. LA artist, nobody's talking about the responsibility, the content, and the morality. Wow, just write anything that earns money. I like to think that I don't write to earn, I mean, I do write to earn money. I love writing and earning money for my writing. I write about stuff that I care about. I write things that I feel very strongly about, that I've actually gotten a lot of kind of horrible comments about online. This is why I don't read my comments anymore, because I'm very thin-skinned. But I personally can say that I write about things I believe in, things I care about, things that I feel, things that I see, things that I think, and then I put them in stories. And happily for me, they tend to earn a lot of money. So I'm very fortunate that that's the case for me. Zaki asks, what's my career field background before Medium, and does my career with Medium? So I studied biology at Oxford, actually, which is kind of my background, where I had to write a lot of essays, and I had to defend them in front of my professor, my tutor, he was called. And that was probably the best experience that I've gotten for this, because having to write something, I had to use, 10 plus actual scientific literary sources. I had to weave a very convincing argument, and I had to do it. It had to be, 2,000 words in about a week with everything else going on. That taught me to write very well and to defend and to think critically and defend my argument like that. Because there is nothing that will teach you how to think critically better than standing up in front of someone who knows way more about the subject than you do, and then ripping your argument to shreds. So that's probably been the best kind of career background that's helped with Medium. Other than that, I did work as an IT tech support and in sort of techie salesy area. Those helped. But honestly, I think the essay writing at Oxford was probably the number one thing for me. This is a great question, Rebel Coder. Excuse me. I'm losing my voice, I think. So I've been on Medium for over 2 years. If we say on average that I've spent 30 hours doing that, and I'm now at the point where I can write 30 per month, say, and I'm now at the point that I can write 9 stories and earn $4,000 per month. That for me was a much better time investment. I don't know. I do YouTube now. It takes me, anywhere between 2 to 3 to 5 hours to edit a video and publish it. And they tend to only earn me a couple of bucks each. I have a couple of videos that do really well, but for the most part, they're not big earners. I earn, maybe I might get to 300 this month. We'll have to wait and see. But it's not a lot of money, to be honest, coming from YouTube. For me, it was Medium, but it took me a long time to figure out what I on YouTube, whereas I was already pretty good at writing, so it was a shorter learning curve, I guess. If you're already good at doing videos, you already know how to be personable on camera, and you already know what kind of content niche you're going to go for. Maybe YouTube is better for you than writing. Do I prefer short or long articles, 3 minutes for 7 minutes? To read, I actually prefer 7, the longer ones, because I love to lose myself in a story, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. To write, I think I probably also prefer, I like the feeling of getting into something really deeply, so much that I write 1,500 words on it, which is about 7 minutes read. But sometimes, I'll write something, I'll do my best, and the story is only, words long, which is about 3 minutes. And if that's the case, then I'm happy. I'll put a bow on it and so that's just my preference, but I'll accept either. Anurag, if you create your own publication, this depends a lot on what you're going to put in it. So Darby Days created Creatures as an example. I'll pull it up so I'm talking about Darby Days, Creatures, Medium. She is the editor of Creatures. She lets anyone join Creatures who wants to write about creatures. However, it's a very broad topic. This isn't specific to her life. Whereas for me, in my publication, Zuli writes I'm going to keep it for myself. I'm only going to publish in it. I'm not going to ask other people to contribute. But that's because I want people to think of it as a publication where they'll get stories that they're not going to get anywhere else, stories that are specifically from me. It just depends inside that publication that you create. Candy asks, how do I focus in on a topic? There's so much I want to say about so many things. I started working on an article last night and it ended up turning into 3 different incomplete stories. Candy, this is something I've never figured out. So if anyone has the answer for this, please feel free to hop in the comments. Personally, this happens to me, which is why you'll see I have over 200 drafts. Like, I just get all these ideas and I start writing, and I can't say no to a story idea. So if I'm in the middle of writing something and a thought comes to mind, I always go to my drafts folder and I just put the headline down really quick. But I think, okay, hang on. Let me actually try to answer your question. I think I just try to limit it to that. So I'll be writing it. I will have that 2nd, 3rd, 5th awesome idea. I'll put it in as a headline and then I try to move on. So after I've put it in as a headline, I come back to the original topic. Sometimes what works for me is just trying to put it all in one and just making it one super long story. Later, if needed, I can edit out chunks, put them into separate stories, but maybe just to keep in the narrative flow, to just keep going in the one. Those are the 2 strategies that have worked for me. So like one single long narrative flow, or just allowing myself to do single headlines. I don't have a good answer for you, unfortunately, Candy. So if anybody does, please, because I would also love to hear. Ashvia asks, what's the longest time to stick to an article if you're not happy with it before publishing? I give it 2 read-throughs. So if I can get top to bottom, reading it aloud, and I don't see anything major to fix, but I also not super happy with it. I'm like, if I've done that twice, then I'm like, you know what? It's not perfect, but I don't know exactly what to fix. I'll just publish it anyway and see what happens. Sometimes those do very well. Sometimes nobody else seems to think there's anything wrong with them. And sometimes they flop and go nowhere. So Brian earned $411 this month after 3 months of writing. That is pretty good, I would say. Can I consider this as something with more potential? My thought is this: Medium's not going anywhere from what I can see. Every month, it seems that somebody earns more and more. Like a couple months, somebody earned $50,000 in a month. I suspect it was Tim Denning. I don't know for sure, prove it, but that's what I think. Anyway, so there doesn't seem to be a real limit on how much I earn. A year ago, I never thought I would be earning $4,000 in a month. Didn't think that was possible. So if you're already earning $400 months, it's clear that you already know how to write well. You're already writing stories that are monetized. You're beginning to build that backlog of earning stories. I think that's a very good indication early on. That would be my guess. Rebel Coder, I actually, this is a very good question because I just left my full-time job. I think my last day was October 9th, holiday for 2 weeks. I came back and dedicated myself to this. So we're seeing my full-time job right now. It wasn't until the point that I was making more in my side gig that I even thought about leaving my full-time job, because it's not just the Medium blog, it's not just the YouTube, it's the freelancing as well that really that was where I was seeing a lot of money coming in. And I was thinking, all right, well, this is a sign. If I'm doing this with half the time, how much could I be doing double the time? Like if I actually invested in a good camera and I came up with a content plan and really tried to even look for new clients. So that was when I considered leaving my day job. And here we are, and I'm feeling like $4,000 in a month validates my decision to leave it. So pretty exciting. Sassy and Awesome asked, have I thought about creating my own publication that is broader than the one I already have? I have thought about it. The reason I haven't is because it's a time thing. It's on top of, I neglect my own publication. Like I keep meaning to send out a weekly newsletter and I still haven't done that. So it's it's just another thing to keep on top of, and I could do it well enough to do it justice. So that's where I'm at with that right now. And it's been about half an hour. You guys are probably sick of hearing me talk about it. Still reeling about my 4,000 month, but I will answer with, I'll answer a final fun question. Did I like Germany? I love Germany. I didn't go there because I wanted, well, I mean, I lived in Germany for a year just to learn German. So I kind of had an attachment to the country already. And I did have a really lovely time. I was in the Black Forest. Amazing, so beautiful. I hate driving, but I really enjoy driving in the Black Forest. And down south in this place called Meersburg, just off of Lake Constance, which was such a sweet town. I loved it. But the reason we went there was because my husband is from the UK as well. And Germany was the one country we could both get to without him having to quarantine on his way back out because his day job isn't remote. It was just happened to happen. All right, so I will leave it at that. I will end looking at that amazing number. I was going to be so happy with 2,000, and I'm just zooming in. I can't believe it. That's such a big number. All right, I'll let you all know what camera I end up buying because I'm definitely going to buy a camera after this. And I look forward to doing this next month. Hopefully it's going to be maybe as good. I would love that. And let me all know if you have any other questions. I try to go through my comments fairly regularly. Questions, comments, thoughts, feel free to let me know. This has been so fun. I love doing this, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.